This feels like another Wright brothers moment. Once you can fly, everything changes. You know, that's an actual quote from the absolute cutting edge of biology right now. Just think about it for a second. Right before the Wright brothers took off, the New York Times boldly claimed it would be 1,000,000 years before humans could fly. A few weeks later, they did it. We're standing at that exact same precipice today, but not with aviation. We're talking about human biology and the very concept of aging itself. So welcome to today's Explainer. We are taking a seriously fascinating journey into what experts are calling the longevity singularity. It is just incredible to see how science is shifting, right? Moving from just reacting to and treating diseases to actively extending the healthy human lifespan. We're literally talking about age reversal stepping out of science fiction and becoming hard scientific fact. All right, let's just dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The Wright brothers moment. 2. Reprogramming the human body. 3. Making longevity affordable. 4. The Sinclair molecule protocol. And 5. Lifestyle, diet, and mindset. Section 1. The Wright brothers moment. Entering the longevity singularity. You really have to look at the sheer speed of this scientific acceleration. Back in 2017, this breakthrough technology was first created in Dr. David Sinclair's lab. By 2020, it hit the cover of Nature magazine with this massive, bold title, Turning Back Time. And where are we right now? That exact same technology from the lab is literally entering human clinical trials to cure blindness. This is a crazy rare trajectory, going straight from a PhD student's lab bench directly into human trials. We are hurtling towards a future singularity where age reversal is just going to be a standard medical reality. 122. That is the maximum recorded human lifespan. But here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. There is zero physical or biological law dictating that humans have to age or that 122 is some sort of hard stop limit. I mean, if we look out at the animal kingdom, living for hundreds of years is already happening. The science tells us there is just massive room to expand our lifespan well beyond what we currently think is possible. Section 2. Reprogramming the human body, turning back the cellular clock. So this brings us to the OSK genes. These are a subset of the famous Yamanaka genes. Now, researchers already knew that Yamanaka genes could turn adult cells all the way back into stem cells. But if you just apply all those genes to a living creature, it's disastrous. Mice basically die within 2 days because they just turn into a giant lump of stem cells. But scientists found the exact right balance. By using just 3 specific genes, O, S, and K, they figured out a way to safely reboot a cell. Think of it exactly like restoring your computer from a backup copy. It's totally astonishing. The cells don't just act young, they physically reset to become truly young again, without losing their identity, and crucially, without causing cancer. And this technology is systemic. In animal trials, we're seeing age reversal benefits across the board. We're talking improvements in brain age, memory, and even ALS models, plus the immune system, muscle, kidney, liver, skin, and even the regrowth of joints, cartilage, and bone. So the big point here is this. A true longevity therapeutic doesn't just fix one organ, like just your liver. When it's administered, it goes to work throughout the entire body. The whole biological system gets the reboot. Section 3. Making longevity affordable, from billionaires to billions of people. Now, it's totally natural to wonder, is this only going to be for the ultra-wealthy? Currently, AAV, which is adeno-associated virus gene therapy, is incredibly effective, sure, but it costs hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars, and it's targeted to specific organs. But the future? The future lies in small molecule pills. By using artificial intelligence to screen billions of molecules, scientists are developing pills that achieve the exact same epigenetic reprogramming. Once they scale this up, these could cost literally cents per pill. They could be as affordable as standard diabetes medication and offer whole-body age reversal. It's just like the airplane, right? The first flights might be for a select few, but eventually it scales to 8 billion people. But to get to those cheap pills faster, the whole funding model actually had to change. Traditional scientific grants are fundamentally broken. They demand totally predictable outcomes and take years to secure, basically turning brilliant scientists into full-time grant typists. But through private networks like Fossil, that's Friends of Sinclair Lab, the paradigm is totally shifting. This private funding allows researchers to pursue radical, cutting-edge experiments and launch trials in a matter of weeks rather than years. This kind of direct injection of capital is exponentially accelerating our timeline to the longevity singularity. Section 4, the Sinclair molecule protocol. What David Sinclair takes right now. Okay, let's break this down into what's actionable right now. First up is resveratrol, which activates the sirtuin-1 longevity enzyme. But you can't just swallow it with a glass of water. It needs to be mixed with something oily or high in protein, like olive oil or yogurt, so your body actually absorbs it. Next is NMN, which boosts cellular energy and is super vital for that reprogramming we talked about earlier. And no, definitely do not confuse that with M&Ms. Finally, there's metformin, usually taken as a 1-gram daily prescription or its natural alternative, berberine. These lower your blood glucose levels. Now, why on earth is that on a longevity list? Because clinical data shows that your hemoglobin A1C, which is your long-term blood glucose level, is the absolute #1 correlate with heart disease. Keeping that glucose low is absolutely critical for a long life. 10,000 units. That is the daily clinical dosage of a natural enzyme called nattokinase, which comes from the Japanese food natto. Why does this matter for us? Because massive trials have shown that taking this consistently over a year is basically the only thing clearly shown to actually reverse arterial plaque in the body. If you want to avoid dying from a stroke or a heart attack, maintaining clear arteries is paramount, and nattokinase is showing some truly incredible promise here. Section 5. Lifestyle, diet, and mindset, the foundation of a longer life. Let's rapid fire through these practical daily foundations because all the molecules in the world won't save a bad lifestyle. First, a mostly plant-based diet to keep your inflammation low. Second, 0 daily alcohol. I know, but the science is totally damning here. Even 1 glass of alcohol a day correlates with brain shrinkage and inflammation. We have to follow the science, not our preferences. Third, moderate caffeine from things like coffee, tea, or matcha is actually great for longevity. Fourth, stress reduction. Being constantly tense literally accelerates your biological aging. And finally, opt for regular preventative ultrasounds instead of CT scans. CT scans use radiation, and radiation actively accelerates aging. But, beyond diet and body scans, there is a deeply human metric to longevity. Just make sure that you're socially surrounded by people who love you and you are not lonely, because loneliness will kill you. Getting a pet, having a partner, just giving more hugs. These aren't just, feel-good suggestions. They are scientifically crucial for lowering blood pressure and extending your health span. Community is quite literally medicine. Which leaves us with this final, awe-inspiring question. Is there an upper limit to human lifespan? As we've seen throughout this explainer, from cellular reboot switches to AI-discovered molecules, the biological laws say no. There isn't. We are entering the longevity singularity. It's a true Wright brothers moment where humanity is learning to fly all over again. The science is accelerating exponentially, and an entirely new, limitless future is right around the corner. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and keep asking the big questions.